Hi, this is Nina. I'm making a video response directly to 1814 Dreddy Head. Just being part of the discussion because I've been really caught up in the story. And like you, I don't know if it has so much to do with the fact that I am African American, but it has to do with that the way this case has been handled. It seems to be just such a deviation from standard police procedure or what we should expect from the police department, um, with the only defense for that being that Zimmerman said that he acted in self-defense because his life was being threatened. But the evidence around the case thus far, just was leaked out to the media, seems to refute that claim of Zimmerman's, because he was told by the officer on the phone that he should not follow Trayvon. By Zimmerman's own account, he stated that Trayvon was running away or at least moving fast trying to get away. It seems to be totally clear that Trayvon was just making a simple trip to the store to get a snack. And he was doing nothing unlawful. And Zimmerman chose to exercise poor judgment and pursue Trayvon. And we have a dead teenager. That is the evidence that we have. And even if Trayvon was guilty of all the things that Zimmerman imagined him to be doing or thought he was doing, even if he had in fact done all of these things, it would not justify him using deadly force against this teenager. And when I listened to those 911 calls from the neighbors saying they're hearing screaming, and even the particular 911 call from a neighbor that the screams and yelps could be heard very clearly in the background, that showed someone that was really fighting for their life. And you just don't hear that kind of a sound when there's a fist fight going on. I mean, I've seen fist fights between girls from grade school all the way up to my adult life, and the same thing between men. You just don't hear someone screaming and yelling for help like that, even if they're getting like their hair pulled or, bitten. Just a continuous scream with that kind of energy. You know, something really heinous was going on, and I believe the person that was screaming for their life. And I don't think Trayvon felt like he had the upper hand when he was confronted with Zimmerman. Zimmerman should have known that he had the upper hand because he knew that he was packing a firearm. It's just totally ridiculous. You're gonna chase after someone, you know you have a gun. You know that you have a gun, and clearly he showed that he's ready to use it. So he let himself be smacked down on the ground and be put in a position that the teen sees the gun, and then there's a scramble for who's gonna get it. And the story makes no sense. That minutes after the officer on the line told him not to pursue, that he winds up getting in this life or death struggle with Trayvon. And that Trayvon would make a phone call right before he attacked Zimmerman. He would call his girlfriend and then get in a brutal battle with Zimmerman. It makes no sense. The only way that fight could have concluded itself in that small amount of time is that Zimmerman was running the show. That's pretty clear. But we don't even have to go that far because we're not supposed to argue this in the public forum, although we as citizens, we're going to discuss this. But Zimmerman should have clearly been arrested that night. I mean, we have all the evidence we need to have. We had an unarmed team that, with no doubt, was making a simple trip to the store, which he had every right to do. And Zimmerman put himself in the path of Trayvon. It was an unjustifiable homicide. Unjustifiable. And it's like you said, the officers that night, they didn't want to arrest Zimmerman. They wanted to believe what they had in their mind. They jumped at Zimmerman's story. Oh, it was self-defense. And there's nothing to prove that it was self-defense. In fact, everything proves something to the contrary, because he went after Trayvon. Trayvon didn't go out in the rain, in that unpleasant weather, to go get an iced tea and bag of Skittles, and it's like, oh yeah, great, now here's somebody to rumble with. I got my iced tea and my Skittles, I'm ready to rumble. That's so crazy. I mean, what an insult to even try to put that on people. It's like a game. It's really like a silly, silly game. And I think a lot of times these players, these lawyers in the defense, when it comes down to these court cases that represent the two sides, I don't even think a lot of times their heart is in it. It's just a game, and it's about you really showing talent if you can defend something like that, and you can manage to get a person like Zimmerman off. And the law is to be interpreted. It's subject to interpretation. So if you have a talented defense team or prosecutors, and you have enough money to have them working around the clock day and night to devise the defense, hey, you could get off for a crime that you committed. Either side, it's like that. It's a real crazy game. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to that, and I hope for the best, but I will say I don't believe that Zimmerman's gonna get away with this at all, even if he did manage to win his case and be allowed to walk the streets freely. The universe is going to punish him. It already has. He's known all over the world. I have a friend that was just in South Africa this week. He says the story is all in the news in South Africa. People here know about it. I'm in Germany. You know, I'm American, but I'm living here in Germany. And I think if you have to pull a name of a villain out of the news, anyone, their first response would be Zimmerman. He is nobody's favorite guy right now. And people that want to defend him, I think it's just denial, and you don't want to believe what's apparently true. And it's like that. Maybe he's caused some people some shame. I mean, it's a shame that we have human beings like that are part of the human race that do those type of things. It's really shameful. Anyway, peace, and I hope for the best.